Oh, hello everyone. I know that many of you, especially those who are into health, vegetarians, vegans, raw fooders, other health nuts, are into some of the new healthy products that are available in our grocery stores. So this morning I decided to make this short recording based on one of them. It's called Cashew Milk, okay, by Silk. This is the original one, but Silk introduced actually some others with different flavor. You have here chocolate, vanilla. This information I found on Silk's website, and it says here, Silk original cashew milk is creamier than skim milk. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? With 25% fewer calories. Well, it sounds even better. Made with the special creaminess of cashews. Wow, just wonderful. Further, if we scroll down here, notice it says it contains 0 grams of saturated fat and cholesterol. Okay, and then here it says free of dairy, soy, lactose, gluten, casein, egg, and MSG. This really sounds good, doesn't it? Well, this morning you will find that it is actually free, or I perhaps should say almost free, of something else, something that is not listed in here. Oh, by the way, if we look at the front of the package here, notice it says non-GMO. That is really wonderful, but I wonder whether this has anything to do with the fact that there are no GMO cashews. There are only non-GMO cashews. Okay, so you couldn't possibly make cashew milk with GMO cashews because there are none. Well, another information that I found is the nutritional facts. So what do we find here? We find that it contains only 60 calories per serving, a serving being 1 cup, which is great. Okay. Very little fat, 2.5 grams, 0 saturated fat, just like as they claim, 0 cholesterol. Okay, it doesn't contain any fiber, doesn't contain all that much of sugar, and very little protein. Further, we find ingredients and also vitamins and minerals because this product was fortified with calcium and vitamins such as E and A, and even a little bit of vitamin B12 and vitamin D2. Sounds all wonderful, right? But, hey, I am a nutritionist. As a nutritionist, something kind of flashed at me here, gave me some red light here. So let's review this one more time. And the first thing I noticed that in as much as 1 cup, this is based on 1 cup, we find only 60 calories in this product. And then also what jumped out on me is the very small amount of fat. Okay, even 0 amount of polyunsaturated fat in addition to 0 saturated fat, and only 1.5 grams of monounsaturated fat. Further, notice less than 1 gram of protein. Why this was a red flag to me, or the red flags? Well, because if we find the nutritional information on cashews, raw cashews here, from the USDA National Nutrient Database, we will find that just in 1 ounce of cashews, we find as much as 157 calories, and we find more than 5 grams of protein. So something wasn't right. Furthermore, when we look at the fat content, we find that 1 ounce, just 1 ounce of cashews contains more than 2 grams of saturated fat, almost 7 grams of monounsaturated fat, and over 2 grams of polyunsaturated fat. So how could it possible that milk made of cashews can contain 0 saturated fat and 0 polyunsaturated fat and less than 1 gram of protein if cashews are relatively good sources or good source of these particular nutrients? So here's my question. How much cashews we find, okay, or is found in cashew milk? Okay, well, we can actually calculate this. we can do it in more than one way. So I will show you a few ways. Number one, notice that according to what's on the nutrition facts, the information in the nutrition facts posted on Silk's website, this product contains 30 milligrams of potassium, and they claim that this is 1% of the recommendation. It's actually less, and I calculated here 30 milligrams, that's how much is in 1 cup, divided by 4,700. Why 4,700? Because this is how much is recommended to ingest per day. So the result of the calculation is here, 0.006. Okay, and so what I did was I multiplied this by 100%. If we do so, we will see that we have less than 0.6% of potassium. This product, a cup of it, is going to provide less than 1%, 0.6%, okay, of cashews. But more importantly, in 1 ounce of cashews, we have 187 milligrams of potassium. That's in 1 ounce. Now, in one cup of cashew milk by Silk, we have 30 milligrams of potassium. So what I did was I divided 30 by 187. So 1 cup of Silk cashew milk contains 0.16 of the potassium, the amount of potassium we find in 1 ounce of potassium, in 1 ounce of cashews rather, okay? 1 ounce equals 28.35 grams. So what I did here is I multiplied the amount in 1 ounce by the fraction that we got from the results of this calculation. And based on that, we can say that 1 cup of cashew milk contains less than 5 grams, exactly 4.5 grams of cashews. In a second, I will translate this into something that will be more understandable to us. But we can repeat the calculation based on the amount of monounsaturated fat. So in 1 ounce of cashews, we find 6.75 grams of monounsaturated fatty acids. In 1 cup of this product, cashew milk, we have 1.5 grams. So we can make the division here as we did with potassium, and this is the result. When we multiply this by the amount that we find in 1 ounce, we find that it would have about 6.5 grams of cashews in a cup of cashew milk. We can do the same with calories if it does contain 60 calories only. Notice that according to this information here, it contains 9 grams of carbohydrates. Some carbohydrates are actually found in cashews. So what I did was, before I tell you what I did, 1 ounce of cashews contains 157 calories. Okay, so what I did was I subtracted the amount of calories from carbohydrates from the total calories found in a cup of cashew milk. Okay, here it says 9 grams of carbohydrates, but since again some of these carbohydrates came from cashews, I actually used 8. So we'll have 8 grams of carbohydrates times 4, because 4 calories in each gram of carbohydrates. So the result of subtracting this calculation from 60 would be 28. 8 times 4 is 32. 60 minus 32 would be 28. So 28 calories would come from fat, okay, in here, from everything else, okay, here. So 28, okay, divided by the amount of calories that we find in 1 ounce of cashews will yield this particular fraction, 0.19. So again, 0.19 times the amount of cashews in 1 ounce yields 5.1 grams. So this is how much it is. Well, we can now answer this question. How much cashews is found in cashew milk? Well, depending on the calculation, it would be what? 4.5 grams 5.1 or 6.5. So practically speaking, this is it. Okay, roughly about a teaspoon. Okay, a teaspoon of cashews is found in 1 cup of silk cashew milk. Okay, now how do they get away with it? Well, notice that instead of listing here water as the first ingredient and cashew somewhere way farther down, because according to the principle of listing ingredients on a food label, the ingredients are to be listed from the most prominent to the least prominent by weight. Okay, so they got away with it by stating the first ingredient as cashew milk. Of course, by then we cannot figure out that there are only about 4 cashews or so per cup of milk because of, that little cheating that they've done here on the ingredient panel. So we learned in the beginning that this product is free of dairy, soy, lactose, gluten, casein, egg, and MSG. And this morning you also learned that it is virtually or almost free of cashews. Okay, that's the reality of it. Okay, so why don't we, instead of paying $3 or more per a product that mainly contains water, fortified with flavoring agents and some vitamins and minerals, make our own. So here's the way I make it. Okay, so I have 3 different tablespoons and 1 teaspoon here, and you see cashews in them. Okay, so the teaspoon represents the amount of cashews that you find in a cup of soya milk by silk. Okay, the tablespoons is what I'm going to put in my soya milk, or rather not soya milk, but cashews milk. Okay, so here I have the cup for magic bullet. Put 1, 2, and 3 all of them. So I got, see, about this much of cashews. Okay, and I'm going to add water. It is probably, I would say, about half a cup. Okay, about half a cup of water. My glass, this particular glass is 12 ounces when you fill it all the way to the end. So I had about less than, or a little bit more than half. I added almost a half. And now I'm going to add, I would say, about a teaspoon of honey. That's it. No more. No other ingredients. It has to blend for a little bit because we want it to be cashew silky smooth. Okay, so, and there you have it.